Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Carlo Capobianco. He has just released his debut single called Call You Sometime, and I am super excited to talk to him all about it. Carlo, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. How's life? Where are you at right now?
Well, I just released my debut single, so it's been very weird having it
Sure.
out in the world for having it like in my head for so long, and now it's finally, a realized product. So I'm really glad it's been getting really good reception, and I'm really glad a lot of people are connecting with it. So, um, yeah, I'm just super glad that I'm finally being able to start my journey into the industry.
Totally. I mean, it's got to be a weight off your shoulders, I can assume. I know how much work goes into these types of things, especially just like the overall nerves of releasing a first single. I can't imagine
Yeah,
it gets worse than that. But hopefully, like as you continue to release, the pressure will be off a little bit. Not that you know.
yeah, exactly, for
Yeah.
sure.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I'm really excited to be talking to you about it. The first thing I want to sort of dig into here is the lyrical content. So, if you could please give me a background and everyone else a background on what the song is about, that would be very helpful.
Well, the song is about, that original feeling that you get when you like somebody, but like you don't have a crush on them just yet. It's kind of just like that first
Yeah.
tingle, those butterflies that you get. So, I have always been a very tragically in love person. I always am like falling head first, into anything, even if I don't know the person that well. I just assume that they love me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna obsess over this person for a year. So
Been there. I get it.
so that it's really about like longing and yearning and wanting, that feeling of being in love. Um, and it's also about taking the first step in calling them, and instead of yearning for them to get to you, you're kind of just like, do you mind if I call you sometime? Like you're kind of just putting yourself in
There
that
you go.
situation. Um,
It's a
but
vulnerable
lyrically,
situation to be in.
yes, exactly.
Mm.
Lyrically, it's softer in terms of my writing style because I really wanted to represent the innocence of the song.
Sure.
Um, and that's why I mentioned baby powder and like strawberries and whatever else I mentioned.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, the song itself obviously has this deep meaning to it, and it's very relatable. But the actual sounds of it, like I really want to talk about the production here because the final product turned out wonderful. Like you've really done a great job. I want to know kind of like all the behind the scenes on the production. Did you have any outside help? Any other collaborators that helped you work on the song? Just any of the details would be great.
So I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba,
Okay.
and there is a very famous band here named Yes We Mystic. Like, not to toot my horn, but I got to
Do
work
it all
with
you want.
the I got to work with the head of Yes We Mystic, Adam Fleur. Um, and he is a really exceptional person. Like um, I had worked on one song with him like about a month ago and a month before, and I kept coming to him with ideas, and so we sat down and we just kind of, it was really easy actually because it was kind of in the middle of the pandemic, so I kind of sent him some ideas over, and he got back to me with like a really good instrumental within like 2 days, and then
Wow.
as soon as the studio opened, we got in there and we mixed and we recorded really easily, and so that's how Call You Sometime came along. And the original concept was created by me and my friend Jesse, who's like also an incredible person and producer and writer himself. And so yeah, that's kind of how we did it. But Adam is like a really great producer. Like I'm so glad that I was able to find him
Yeah,
to
that's
help me.
awesome. Now I really want to check out their music because you're talking it up pretty high here. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
worth my time. So really, the sort of like the obvious question here is, considering this is your first and debut single, I would only assume that there's more on the way. I don't know what you can say or what you don't want to say, but can you at least sort of, say you're working on something else?
Um, I I think you caught me, so I don't think there's any way I can get out of this conversation. But yeah, I am
No, that's great. That's
making.
great.
I have I have a full album coming. I
Oh,
do have a full
wow.
album coming. Um, sorry, I don't know what's going on up there, but
That's okay.
um, yeah, I have more music coming very soon, actually.
Sweet.
Call You Sometime is kind of just like a cute little teaser. So
No, that's great. That's great. Are you going to be looking to sort of experiment in the overall sound? Are you going to be looking to go into different directions and just kind of try new things? Or do you think that you found your lane?
um, so my the rest of the music is quite dark. Like I really want to Call You Sometime to be that opener that's kind of like, like Dream Lover by Mariah Carey, or,
Totally.
you know, like a really just cute, like bombastic pop song that's like very like cute and innocent. And the rest of my music, very on the album at least, which is called Pray to You. Um, it's it's about the same concepts of Call You Sometime, yearning and longing, but in a much more obsessive manner in terms
Okay.
of the production. There's a lot of new wave elements in the album, a lot of Madonna, Michael Jackson inspiration. I really wanted to try to recreate the sound of the 80s, but in a modern way. And I think I did that really well with Adam. And yeah, I can't wait for that to come out. So
Nice. Yeah, the 80s influence is the first thing that I noticed, but it's not totally in your face. It's sort of subtle, which I appreciated. I think you've done a great job of sort of channeling some of the past and mixing it with the modern and obviously putting your own take on it. So I'm really interested to see what the rest of your music sounds like as it releases. No rush. I know these things take time. So let's focus on this for now. So my next thing here is obviously, you're a lover of music. You've decided to take this path as a musician. Are there any inspirations in terms of specific artists or bands that you either listened to growing up or your parents had on in the car that, I guess, just kind of spurred you to do something for yourself?
um, when I was younger, I didn't really listen. I didn't have like musicians that I liked. I kind of just listened to the radio. So,
Sure.
um, but going into grade 5 and grade 6, I finally discovered that I really liked pop music. Um, and of course, as a child, I liked it because of the theatrics and like the perfect images and that emperor feeling of like Michael Jackson or Prince and
Oh, yeah.
Bowie and Britney and every so I really liked pop girls and pop music and pop boys. And then when I got into high school, I really discovered the 80s, which I was never showcased when I was younger.
Yeah, definitely
And
not playing on the radio too much, but it had to have been an eye-opening experience when the first thing came across.
well, yeah, I saw men wearing makeup, and I saw, you know, Madonna like riding a cross. You know, I come from a Catholic background, so I was like, she's going to hell. But then I was like, oh, this is her,
For sure.
this is her art. So,
Yeah.
um, and it really, you know, allowed me to discover myself truly. Um, and you know, I found myself just like writing things like out of nowhere, and I realized like, oh, I'm writing music. So, you know, I kind of went to a few producers before I found Adam, and no one ever really connected with me the way that I've connected with Adam, because Adam is really, really great at like listening to you and understanding what you want, but also kind of putting his own flair to it. So um, then we kind of pat down that like 80s influence, and I really wanted to make sure that these songs sounded like the 80s, but they weren't like, you know, it's not like a stem pack of 80s sounds. Like I wanted them to
Totally.
sound real.
And that's what
And
I'm
there's a lot of
saying. Like,
real,
I think you've done a great job of like towing that line of it not being full on, but it definitely alluding and like paying homage to it. So that worked out.
yeah. There's lots of real synthesizers in the album, and this song too. So like synths are my favorite thing ever.
Sure. I get
But
that.
yeah, so I think when I discovered pop music was when I really discovered myself.
Very cool. Now, do you have like a specific process? Does it always start with a lyric or even like an experience in your head when you start a song?
Um, yeah, I usually look for phrases everywhere because I think that anything can be turned into a song.
Totally.
So I really looked everywhere, and um, in terms of this song, it was very kind of like we wanted to write a song, so we sat down and wrote a song.
Mhm.
It was very straightforward, and the melody came soon after. It was kind of this weird thing that my friend played, but it sounded really good, and I felt that like bell in the background, like the was like a really good, like cute thing.
Mhm.
So then I really made sure the lyrics were, you know, all the syllables matched, everything was perfect because I wanted it to just be a cut, you know, pop song. Um, but in terms of other songs in my writing process in general, I usually write the lyrics first
Okay.
and then listen to a whole bunch of shit and then find, you know, what parts of those songs I think makes a good pop song, and then I kind of combine that in the studio. um, but yeah, it takes me a while to write a song actually. Like I wish I was one of those people that like wrote a song in 5 minutes, but like I really need to like,
Yeah.
it takes
It's,
me months
right.
sometimes.
Totally.
So
And
yeah.
listen, it's difficult to compare yourself to others. It's like some of the greatest songs ever. Like, yeah, we wrote this song in 3 minutes and we had it recorded in a day. But you know what? Like, you're your own person. You do what
Yeah.
works for you. And obviously, being an artist, there comes a whole section of perfectionism, and you listening to it 100
Right.
times. And on that 100th time, you hate it and you want to scrap the entire thing. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
I guess I suppose it totally just it changes on person to person.
Yeah, exactly. I
Right.
mean, it's different for every artist.
Yeah. And so as you continue to make music and obviously, you know, an album on the way, I assume that you're going to want to get out there and perform. Is that correct?
Um, yeah, of course, I want to perform. Um, yeah, I can't talk too much about that right now,
That's
but
okay. And this is more on the
I
hypothetical
do.
side because it's kind of tough to tour and get that planned at the moment.
It is kind of weird right now, so I don't know like how I'm gonna be able to like I've never toured
Sure.
before. I've done like one basement show like once, so I have no idea about anything about the stages or like
Yeah,
I have to consider everything when I'm performing because I love theatric and I need there to be that polish. So like
totally.
I definitely want to go to a big stage. Big stagers are like my favorite thing.
Right. And you can't
But really
half-ass it
hopeful.
either. I
Yeah,
feel just
uh,
based on this single and like what you're talking about for your future music, it's going to be a spectacle. Like it's going to be an experience rather than just like a stripped back acoustic show. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. And you have to wait for the right moment.
exactly. Yeah, no acoustics. No, I'm not sitting down with the guitar.
No,
Maybe
no,
for my
no.
like fourth throwback album or something.
Exactly. Yeah, the throwback tour. Yeah, okay. I love that. So, hypothetically, what does the next year look like for you in a perfect world?
Um, in a perfect world, I would be a billionaire.
Yeah, that would be
No, I'm
good.
just kidding. Um,
What the hell
I
is a
think
billionaire?
I think that um, I hope to have at least two more songs come out.
Cool.
And I don't really know what I'm gonna do for all of the songs in general because there's a like Call You Sometime is not even the second best song on the album. Like there's so many gems on this album that I really want to be able to showcase all of them individually, but I don't want to, take an album across 2 years or something like that.
No, I get
Um,
it.
but hopefully, a few concerts around my city just so I can warm up. Um, and in a perfect world, I hope that one of my songs gets like 1,000 streams. That'd be pretty cool. Call You Sometime has 300 right now, so that's pretty good. I'm really proud of that.
That's awesome.
Um,
For a first single, it's like you have to keep your expectations low. So I understand.
exactly. But yeah, hopefully the album by the beginning of next year. And I just really want to connect with people this year and really work at it and go to a few events and go straight into touring and straight into that because I want to build up momentum for myself and my energy. I want to really feel like I want to prepare for it. So I'm really just going to release songs over the next few months and I have a few more videos coming. So um, I'm really excited about this upcoming year. Yeah.
Very cool. And so in this past year, there's been so many amazing like other musical releases. I kind of want to know, what have you been listening to? Are there any local bands or musicians you'd like to shout out? And kind of just like what's been on your playlist lately?
Um, lately, I've been listening to early 2000s a lot. Um, I like the sampling that they did in the early 2000s. They took from a lot of things, but they made it really unique.
Good.
And I love all the hip hop influence and the R&B. Um, and yeah, I've just been listening to like FKA Twigs and Aaliyah and
Nice.
Beyonce, like Sasha Fierce. I've just been listening to all the old, not the old, like the
Yeah.
2000s, like even Paris Hilton had a pretty good few songs for a while.
You're
Uh,
totally right. I remember she had her moment. That's funny. Yeah. And she does DJ sets occasionally when that's a thing. And I heard she's not too bad.
She honestly, good for her. Like, if I was paid $1 million a DJ set, I would be a DJ. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I would watch every YouTube video in the world if someone was like, here's $1 million, show up to this club for 2 to 3 hours. I would learn
Yeah.
immediately.
And free drinks on us. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
totally. What a night. Yeah, it sounds like the dream, all right. All right, Carlo, I have one more question for you, and it's how I like to wrap these things up. But I want to ask, for the person that is going to discover you from this, and for the person that is going to listen to your song for the first time, what is sort of like an opening message you have for them as they enter into the world that you've created?
This ain't nothing. If you're hearing just my first song, you better hold on to something, because I'm about to change the pop game. And I mean, I'm coming. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, but I'm kidding.
No, man, hey, listen, you can't start off with the best you got. You got to reel them in with something good, and then you just got to keep them hooked. And I really think that this is going to be that song that keeps them hooked.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I hope the person experiences, whatever feeling that I experienced when I wrote this. I don't want my music to be straightforward. Like, I want you to interpret it in any way that you feel like you can interpret it. Like, it could be a totally different song than what I imagined it to be. So that's why I make sure to not mention gender or he, she, her, him. I want all of my songs to be identifiable to like anybody that listens to it. So yeah, keep your ears open. If you want to talk to me, message me on Instagram, whatever, email me. I'm down for whatever questions you have or any ideas you have.
I love that.
Yeah, just enjoy the music and be yourself. And that's, yeah, just
I love that.
enjoy music.
Exactly. Ultimately, the priority is to listen. So do that.
Yeah.
Carlo, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I'm really happy that we can make this work. For everyone else who's watching, Call You Sometime is out. Listen to it, follow along. I know for a fact at this point there's going to be way more on the way. So I say stick along for the ride. I can't wait to see what comes out in the coming months and years.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You're
and
very
I really
welcome.
appreciate this. And yeah, thank you again. And I hope you have a really good day.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll definitely talk soon. Take care until then.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.